Hello, I'm BX3Cat and welcome back to the video. So the way I play survival in Minecraft often irks a few people, like every now and I do something that just makes people go, why Cat? Why did you need to do that? And honestly, most of the time when I do something weird, it's because I'm either saving time down the line, I'm just trying to, mix up the experience, or I'm doing something that's actually beneficial in some way that's just not immediately obvious, like building a, black Steve with one leg, for instance. All these different things, you look at them and you can say, well, that's just really silly, no one should ever do that. But there are certain things in Minecraft that I think nobody should ever really do, and I figured I'd go through 8 of them in today's video, because here are 8 things you should never be doing in Minecraft. Hopefully you do all enjoy the video, like if you do like it because it helps out the channel, and let's say you do like this sort of video. But with that said, let's get straight into it, shall we? And let's start with the first thing you shouldn't be doing, and this is one that's really easy to get caught on doing because, the mechanics of how mobs spawn is something a lot of people don't understand beyond make sure it's light or mobs will spawn. But one of the things I see people do that kind of irks me a little bit, even though again, it's not very clear to most people, is placing torches really high up on walls. Because look in here, for instance, again, we're in the leg, up there, you can see it's really dark, and a lot of people think, oh, it's dark up there, better place a torch. And although on the surface this sounds like good logic, like, yep, as long as it's not dark up there, the mobs won't spawn. The truth is, mobs only spawn based on the light level near the ground. So even having a torch on a, wall this low up is kind of silly. Technically, all torches and things like that should be placed at ground level, and admittedly, sometimes you can't do that, so you do it there, but the higher above ground you make the torches, the less useful they are, until you get to the level where you're up there, and if there's no ground, which technically this counts as ground, but, if there's no blocks for mobs to spawn on anywhere near this thing, this is a wasted torch. I might as well not be doing anything, and yeah, having torches be really high up like that, unless they're literally purely for the light itself, and they're not for the mob spawning benefits, then you are just wasting torches. The best way to place torches, and not save stuff, is just having the, doing the kind of boring, like making sure everything is light level 7 with, like, perfectly diagonal blocks. That's how you're meant to place torches, and if you want to be efficient, place them all over the place, or place them on walls is just horribly inefficient, and you shouldn't ever be doing it, because, it doesn't look better most of the time, it doesn't really help anyone, it just wastes torches. So yeah, that's the first thing you should never be doing in Minecraft. You should never be placing torches up on top of the walls if you think that's gonna, reduce the mobs thing. Anyway, with that said, let's move to the second thing you shouldn't be doing, which is to do with all the TNT you've noticed that's strewn around here, because although this is my creative world, if this was survival, I should not be doing this at all, especially in a multiplayer world, because bear in mind, like the thing about Minecraft and TNT is everyone is tempted by it, right? You see this TNT and you want to see me destroy it. Like a part of you is like, oh yeah, that would be kind of interesting, right? But yeah, so everyone wants to see TNT destroyed, which means if you ever invite someone to your world and they see TNT, all their mind is going to be thinking is light it up, light it up, light it up. They don't have to deal with the consequences. It's you that has to deal with that, which means that, as soon as they can find anything to light on fire or, lava, anything it could be, a flame burn in my case, they can light this stuff up. So yeah, that's the first thing is if you have TNT, then you're going to be prone to griefing, which no one wants to be griefed, right? Look how bad this is going to go. Like, it's going to hurt the axe a little bit. Isn't that a shame? But yeah, as well as hurting the axe, there's also the fact that if you leave it in builds, if you're like, okay, this is a single player world, I know I won't get grief because I'm just not going to invite people, even then, you need to make sure that TNT isn't exposed anywhere, because it's a very low chance, but there's a tiny chance that when, it rains all of a sudden, maybe you're underground, you don't realize, lightning strikes your exact area and it hits your TNT, let's say for some reason it's in the creeper, and then suddenly just massive damage is done to your world. Basically, TNT really shouldn't be used in any builds ever, like, use it for destruction and blow it up as soon as you place it, because if you leave it around, you either end up with accidental lightning, or you end up with creepers, and yeah, TNT just shouldn't really be made until you intend to use it, because the more you do that, then the more you're just inviting griefers and /or lightning, and lightning is just the biggest griefer of all, isn't it? So yeah, with that said, let's move on to the third thing you shouldn't be doing, because it's actually, to do with farming, because, you go farming a lot, I'm sure, at least some people go farming a lot, and, a lot of people criticize me for my diamond hoe, because it's like, oh yeah, this is such a waste, but truth be told, a diamond hoe saves you using 16 iron, or I guess, like, yeah, it saves you using 69, plus it's more convenient. So yeah, diamond hoe is actually convenient in some way, and it's useful like that. However, a hoe you shouldn't ever be crafting is the gold hoe, because if you do craft a gold hoe, that's 2 gold ingots, just like that, down the drain forever, and you only get 31 hoes out of it. You get some ridiculously number, so it's not really actually a useful item, it's just a waste of gold, and you should never craft this, because no one looks at your golden hoe and thinks, oh, I guess this guy's made it. I mean, maybe there's some, like, reverse meta where it's so bad it becomes good, but if you actually, if you're serious and you're playing in a single player world, there is no reason to ever have a gold hoe. If you have the wood to make, sticks, you have the wood to make a wooden hoe, and that's double as good as this. If you have, stone, it's 4 times as good. If you have iron, it's 8 times as good. And if you have diamond, it's some ridiculous number. I guess that'd be like 64 times as good as this gold hoe. You should never craft gold hoes. And diamond hoes, you can kind of argue for. Gold hoes, you definitely can't. So drown the gold hoes, don't do that again, and move on to the next thing you shouldn't be doing, because it's to do with actually once you've planted that stuff, because potatoes, as you're all probably aware, when you plant them in the ground, you've got a 1 in 100 chance of getting a poison potato up instead, which is I know, that's bad, right? No one likes poisonous potatoes. However, once you do get these poisonous potatoes, you never have to eat these. There is no acceptable situation where you should eat poisonous potatoes, because once you've gone to the level where you have 100 potatoes at once, then you should have enough potatoes that you never rely on these. Because admittedly, you can kind of argue that, like, if you have a milk bucket with you, and I think there's one in this thing over here. If you have a milk bucket with you, which again, I think that, okay, nope, just wheat in there. But yeah, if you have a milk bucket, you can milk a cow, you can eat the poisonous potato, and you can just about even out. But even then, you get the tiniest hunger boost. And again, like I said, if you've got enough poisonous potatoes that they're a real source of sustenance, like they're going to be right here, then you really should have enough potatoes that, oh, okay, we're eating a whole bunch now. Then you really should have enough regular potatoes that you don't need to. So yeah, poisonous potatoes, they should never be eaten. I think maybe you can keep them around as, like, maybe they'll be useful one day, but right now they're mostly useful for, like, confusing new players, maybe. Again, no one's really ever confused by an item that literally calls itself the poisonous potato. It just this item in general, having it doesn't really need to be a thing, and yeah, that's why if you have some lava, you can make a nice show of it. But with that said, let's move on to the fifth thing that you probably shouldn't be doing in Minecraft, because it is the weakness potion. Because every potion in Minecraft, I mean, there are really useful ones, like the strength potion and the healing potion. There are really not useful ones, especially in their, drinkable form, like the potion of slowness, the potion of harming, the potion of poison, but at least those other potions you can kind of argue for. So, potion of harming, you might want to either get your health down a little bit, because you want to do that. Maybe you want to poison yourself, because if you're poisoned, I don't know if I've shown this up before, you can actually jump, okay, so that's a lot of poison, but if you're poisoned, you can jump using the poison over fences. Again, it's one of my favorite little tips, because damage actually can help you out sometimes in Minecraft. It's rare, but it can help you out. However, the potion of weakness, this one right here, is just entirely useless, because all it does is lower your attack damage, and it lowers it by such an amount that it really doesn't benefit you in any way, because, again, your fist is going to be pretty much as powerful as it was before. Again, like, there's no real reason to want it to be less powerful anyway, but then your regular weapons just get marginally less powerful. So our Stone Sword does 4.5 damage instead of, 5, and it's like, oh, that really affects things. There are very few mobs where you can even notice the change, let alone would you ever want it to do. Like, why would you ever want to weaken yourself besides maybe to, like, show off in a fight? But even then, there are just so many better ways to show off. There are so many better ways to, injure yourself. It's just the thing where it's like, it's so bad of a potion that you probably wouldn't throw it at other people, and it's especially bad enough that you wouldn't use on yourself, because you probably wouldn't even notice, which is why the potion of weakness is just something you should never drink. You have to get a fermented spider eye just to make it, and it's just not worth it for a potion that weak. So yeah, that said, let's move on to the sixth thing you shouldn't be doing, because it's to do with, stone swords and enchanting them. So, yeah, stone swords is something you get quite a bit when you kill wither skeletons, as I've mentioned so many times before. It's one of my biggest gripes. Grr, wither skeletons, etc. But yeah, basically, you should never enchant these stone swords. One, for the obvious reason of it's a stone sword. It has, like, 100 durability. You hit something 100 times, then this thing's dead. But the second reason you shouldn't do it is because it has lower enchantability. So, not only are you going to waste 3 levels to get your, or 2 levels to get your Unbreaking 2 or your Fire Aspect 3, you're also going to, you're going to be getting lesser enchantments than you would get otherwise. So it's hard to kind of prove this one, because I have to go back and forth, etc. But basically, on average, because, enchantment mechanics in Minecraft are very complex, basically every single tool level has an enchant ability. So leather is better enchanted than iron, for instance. A weird little fun fact you might not have known. Diamond is the second best tool to enchant, and gold is the very best, which is why when you enchant gold tools, you can get sharpness 5, but the opposite applies to stone swords, and that means getting even sharpness 4 is very rare, which means basically if you enchant stone, not only are you kind of silly because you're wasting XP on stone. Again, it's stone, but also because you're going to get worse enchantments for it. So there just is no good reason to enchant a stone sword, or really a stone anything, like a stone pickaxe. What is iron that hard to find? If it is, then are diamonds that hard to find? You really just shouldn't be doing it in general, and it's just a waste of XP. You can never really make your XP back in it, so it's a bad investment. If you have stone swords, just throw them away maybe, or just use them plain, because enchanting them is just a waste of everyone's time. So with that said, let's move on to the seventh thing that you probably shouldn't be doing in Minecraft, and it's actually, I was going to say it's some distance away, but it's actually just behind me, because the Silk Touch, pickaxe, Silk Touch enchantment, is a really fun one, right? Everyone's played around with it, because it means you can get diamonds, it means you can get, redstone ore, it means you can get cold ore, but once you have these ores, you should never smelt them. So, smelting redstone ore is especially silly, but let's just say, coal, for instance, smelting coal is just one of these self-defeating tasks, because not only are you using coal to get more coal, which you could just do with a regular pickaxe, but, let's say, you want to save those pickaxe uses, but not only are you doing that, but you're also getting less XP, because although you get a tiny bit of XP for each bit of coal smelted, as you're going to see right there, the amount this adds up to, because it's such a low amount, is so much lower than you get for, actually mining a coal, that you're basically you're giving up coal to get less coal and less XP. And why would you waste your silk touch in the first place over a regular one? The answer to that is you probably wouldn't. If you have coal ore, use it as maybe a decoration block in some way. Just place it down and break it. There are so many better solutions than doing this. And yeah, this is one of those painful things to just look at and be like, why would anyone do this? And maybe that's how you think about it. Maybe it's not. But yeah, if you're doing that right now, I doubt anyone out there is. But don't. Easy as that. So with that said, let's move on to the final thing that you probably shouldn't be doing. And as we do that, let's move past a lot of like exposed TNT. Again, this is my creative world where it's like a flip back between them to show you stuff off to your videos. But you probably shouldn't leave TNT out in the open because otherwise, it's just so tempting, isn't it? Didn't you guys want me to do that? You did want to see how the TNT explodes because it's so satisfying. So yeah, that's the problem with TNT. Everyone has that carnal part of their brain that just wants to see stuff explode. So make sure you avoid that. Anyway, the final part involves me being over here because it is to do with your mounts. So yeah, mounts in Minecraft are something that are relatively new still, 1.6 on the PC. It's only a few years old now, so a lot of people still don't even bother because they're like, old school, or maybe you just don't want a mount, whatever the reason is. However, if you do decide to get a mount, make sure you actually, if you can find a donkey, you can probably find a horse, make sure you use mules instead of donkeys. So, admittedly, donkeys have a tiny advantage over mules in that they can be bred together, so if you need to get 50 donkeys fast, then yeah, maybe donkeys, better tool than mules, because, the donkeys will make more donkeys, whereas if you breed a donkey and a horse, you're not going to get more mules, you have to use the same pair again. But what I do recommend is that if you have any amount of time whatsoever, which you do if you're getting a, mule, let's be honest with ourselves, if you have any amount of time whatsoever, make sure you get a mule, because a mule, even an average mule, is faster than the fastest donkey, if I'm not mistaken, and the fastest mules are almost as fast as horses. It's basically, the best of, both worlds between a donkey and a horse, even though there's lots of reasons to use a horse over a mule, because, they don't, horses have faster speeds, and they can wear horse armor. There's not many good reasons to use a mule, to use a donkey over a mule. If you have the time to tame a donkey, to find a saddle, to put a chest on it, just do the same with a donkey, and then name him Kitten and make him your best friend forever. I'm just saying, if you're going to have a mount that's going to last you for a very long time, and you want to have this storage space, do it right. That's all I'm saying. And in my Let's Play world, I think I'm going to be doing that soon, actually, because I found horses in there recently, so I'm kind of pumped to do that. And yeah, you never should be using donkeys. If you're using a donkey, it's meant to be a short-term solution. If it's a long-term thing, you're doing something a little bit wrong. That's all I'm saying. But with that said, I hope you did all enjoy this video. If you did all like it, like the video and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot. And let us know you do like these sorts of videos on the internet. Share the video if you really liked it. I'm always amused when I go past the giant dog. I think this was one of the first things I built in this world, by the way. Fun fact. But yeah, share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Remember that on YouTube, there's a little bell you can click next to the subscribe button. It's something you might consider doing if you like to see videos from your favorite YouTubers, because you can either on your PC set them to receive emails, so you want to get an email so you can see your latest Toy Cat video, or again, whoever else, you can do it that way. And also on mobile, you can click it there, so it'll give you push notifications. So you want to get a little ding and learn about 8 things you didn't want to know about cats in Minecraft, then you can do that too. Anyway, with that said, I hope you all enjoy the video, because I'll see you all in the next one. So, goodbye.